Hi, and welcome to Your Future, Your Finances. I'm your host, Brian Kuhn. Today we're talking about business owners and planning for them. Today our guest is Don Hannes of Planning Solutions Group. Are you a business owner or specifically an auto dealer owner? A lot of great content in this segment. We'll be talking with Don. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I have 29 years experience working with business owners in succession planning, but most recently we've been involved with the NADA Academy, National Auto Dealers Association, where we teach courses on succession planning. The NADA offers 6 courses to dealer candidates on how to run an auto dealership. Now, you see auto dealerships on every corner, and you might not think they're a complicated or a sophisticated business, but they are quite complicated and sophisticated. There's 3 or 4 different businesses inside a dealership that the candidates need to know how to run successfully.
So what does a typical auto dealer client look like?
Well, a typical auto dealer client is your neighbor next door. He's a member of the community. You might see him at social events or certainly about town, so they're usually very visible. They're some of the hardest working people you'll ever meet. They work 60 hours a week on a slow week. And they tend to be very charitably inclined. They support lots of causes, and they're good to their employees. And you've seen all the Little League photos in their dealership. But they're also risk takers. They've had to borrow lots of money to expand and grow their business. They personally guarantee millions of dollars in loans. Typically, they have 70 to 80% of their net worth tied up in the dealership and the real estate. So they have concentrated risk, which makes retirement and succession planning even more of a concern for them. They don't want to lose what they built up over 30 to 40 years.
So you're meeting one of these individuals, and what would you do for them in a normal situation?
Well, the first thing we have to do is help them evaluate, can they really afford to step down from the dealership and turn over succession to their children who have just graduated from the NADA Academy and are poised to take control. Most dealers are nervous that the kids might make a wrong decision and it would jeopardize their retirement. So we really have to evaluate whether the children are qualified and ready and able to step in and help dad and mom out. Once that decision is made, we then have to identify where's the income coming from and how much do you need on a monthly basis to maintain your lifestyle.
And these are children who are taking over, and sometimes they may not listen to mom and dad necessarily, but between the NA and NADA and you and your planning, it's a whole team that gets together, perhaps.
Well, you might be alluding to, do we have any children that are angry or don't get along with mom and dad or their siblings? In a family business, there's oftentimes multiple family members who may or may not see eye to eye. They may have had problems from their youth that they still can't get past. Sometimes they're concerned that mom and dad don't give them enough opportunities to make decisions, but it's because mom and dad are nervous about their net worth being tied up in their business. A typical dealer's net worth can range from 10 to 300 million.
Wow.
And again, if 70% of your net worth is in a dealership, you have a lot riding on your kid's success. So we do have to deal with situations where kids and parents, aunts and uncles, so forth, don't get along. Another big issue is, should they even keep the dealership or sell it to a third party? Dealerships are very, very valuable right now. You know, Warren Buffett has started to buy auto dealerships. And sometimes selling the dealership for $50 million and sharing the proceeds is a good solution and less risky to mom and dad who have to hope son or daughter does a good job with the dealership.
So what are some of the strategies that you'll offer an auto dealer owner?
Well, if they're deciding whether to keep the business in the family or to sell to a third party, certainly determining the value of the dealership is step number 2 after cash flow modeling. What's the dealership worth? Some typical ideas for family businesses are gifting of stock. Now, if I ask you to give away some of your assets, you'd probably get angry because you've worked hard and you want to build your net worth. But we create non-voting stock and give away pieces of paper that don't reduce your income or your control. In situations where there's multiple family members, we oftentimes create something called a family board. And that's where the family gets together 4 times a year to talk about business and family and expansion and training, because most family business is 24/7. Birthday parties, Thanksgiving, the parents and the children are constantly combining business with pleasure, and that can be rather taxing on family relationships, especially for non-active family members.
Yeah. So a lot of that non-financial topic, emotions, if you will, can, I would imagine, get into the planning.
Right. It's a lot of tax ideas, but it's also a lot of interpersonal and training and management training.
Yeah. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Great stuff. Thanks for coming on the show, Don Hannes. We'll be right back. You're watching Your Future, Your Finances.